Life is not about your to-do list. It's not about achieving accomplishment after accomplishment. It's about the journey. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel, we talk about spirituality and self-development. Today, I'm going to give you the exact system I use to design my life on a yearly basis. I actually return to this system twice a year, on the new year and in the middle of the year, but I also often like to check in with my goals and my intentions and my vision boards and all of that at least every quarter, if not more often. And by the way, my quarters are dictated by nature, so I often check in with myself on the winter and summer solstices and the fall and the spring equinox. You can do this whenever you want. You can follow the Gregorian calendar, the business year calendar, or the lunar calendar, or the astrological calendar, whatever works for you. Time is an illusion that helps things make sense. So we're always living in the present tense. Wink, wink. So you can start brand new anytime you want, whenever and wherever. This video, my loves, is thorough. So let's get into it. You might want to take some notes. So life is not a to-do list. It's not about achieving accomplishment after accomplishment. It's about the journey. I know that I can get depressed and anxious when I'm not actively participating in my journey, when I'm not an active participant, when I'm in autopilot. When I've lost my way and I'm no longer on the path that I want to be on. I can get really low when that happens. So this is why we intentionally design our lives, why we project our desires onto the blank screen of reality, and why we set our intentions and why we set our goals for ourselves. Not to accomplish for the sake of accomplishment, but to be on a journey, to do the human job of being, to experience and to grow and to evolve. That is how a human thrives. That is why we're here. So let's say you set some goals in 2023 that maybe did not come to fruition. My love, all is not lost. Again, your goals and your journey, it shapes your year. It shapes who you are and how you experience life, but it doesn't define you and your success as in life as you human through it, right? Life, rather, is found in the moments in which you tried, or even in the moments which you gave up, for real. The life is found in the early mornings when you're trying to get out of bed, or the meal prepping. It's found in the living, outside of the planning and in the experiencing. And what we do when we design and project our life for the next year is we simply create a guidebook for ourselves to follow so that we don't get lost as many times. We might take different directions along the way, but as long as we have this guidebook, we can continue to find our way back to the path and to give ourselves that purpose and that drive to get somewhere and to enjoy that journey. So here's what you're going to need for this. You're going to need a journal and a pen. Your journal should be something that you can reference throughout the year. Maybe dedicate one specific journal to this life design process. You're going to need some time for yourself, because setting aside specific time for this work makes it more sacred. It makes it more significant to the subconscious mind. Also, writing it down by hand, the subconscious mind will listen more intently when you put pen to paper. So make a date with yourself for this work. Set aside a specific time for it. You're also going to need a clean space. When our outer space is cluttered, our mind can become cluttered as well. I personally never feel like I can concentrate well when my room is messy, my house is messy. So to do this work, I recommend to clean and organize your space until you feel like you actually have space. So maybe clean up a couple drawers or choose a few things to give away to charity. Just create some sort of organization in your space. You're gonna feel like you've emptied internal space and made room in your mind as well. And speaking of internal mind space, an empty mind, or at least a calm and relaxed mind, is ideal for this projection and designing your life work. If you can, take a few minutes to just kind of breathe and listen to maybe your breath or calming music before you begin this process. What we want to do is clear the mind from yesterday, clear our space from today, from the day ahead, from tomorrow, so that you can intentionally create today and tomorrow. And just a note, you can do all this work over the course of several days or in one day. It's just a lot of writing, so a heads up on that. And let's begin. We're going to start with reflecting on our year. In your journal, reflect on the past year. Write about your accomplishments and your wins, and keep a really detailed track of what you accomplished, how you accomplished it, and what did work and what didn't work. Speaking of what didn't work, the next thing that I want you to journal about is reflect and journal about any perceived failures or challenges that you may have encountered in the past year. This might be painful to do, it might even be triggering, but there's so much to be learned from our perceived failures, from looking at the past now that we're kind of ahead of it a little bit, right? It could really shape us and shape our future and our future decisions for the better. And speaking of learning, the next thing you're going to reflect on are any lessons you may have learned this year. It's so important to reflect on things you learned from the past year or from however long, because then you can really integrate it and not make the same sort of mistakes or fumbles, because you broke the cycle, you learned, you can move on to the next thing. Really write about any lessons you learned this year, how you learned them, and how you plan on integrating them, those lessons into the future. And then you're going to finish your journaling by making a list of things that you're grateful for that happened in the past year, or things that you experienced or had or accomplished. Maybe even negative things that you might be grateful for now because it taught you something. Whatever it may be, write about these things that you're grateful for. Really feel that gratitude, because it opens you up and aligns you with the frequency of gratitude in which everything that you could possibly want already exists. Lastly, in our reflection section, what you're going to do is to identify your priorities in life. I think it's important to once in a while just check in with what's important to us right now. What do you value the most? And you can make a list of your priorities in order, which is literally getting your priorities in order, which is going to make you feel really organized and kind of more in tune with yourself and what's important to you in life. Once you've had some time to reflect, you're going to project what you want onto the screen of reality for the future. So this is where we start asking ourselves, what am I ready to let into my life? What am I ready to welcome into my life? Let's say this coming year. You can also kind of reflect and project on, what do you feel is your purpose right now? That's something that's really important to get our minds straight about where we're going in life. Is like, what is my mission statement? What is my purpose in life right now? What do I want to bring to this world or be in this world? For right now, your purpose might be to find your purpose, and that's perfectly fine, my love. The next part of our project section is we are going to set goals and intentions for this year, or you can set them in, quarterly, or for the next month. You could do for the next 6 months, whatever feels right to you. I like to do it for the full year at the beginning of the year and then check in with it and maybe break it down into smaller pieces throughout the year. So let's first talk about intentions. Why do we set intentions? When we set intentions, we allow ourselves to decide how we want to be, how we want to live, how we want to show up in our lives. An intention is less about like a tangible outcome and more about aligning your everyday actions with your values, with your priorities, and with your purpose. So when we set our intentions, we set them as if they're already happening. So let's say our intention is to be happy. Instead of writing, I want to be happy, you would write, I am living with gratitude and joy. I feel genuinely happy. Or I love that I'm happy just for the sake of being happy. I love how joyous I feel. And you can have several intentions for the year, but maybe perhaps focus on like 5 main ones. But I also recommend choosing one main intention for the year, because this feels like setting your sails in the right direction, in the direction of where you want to go. You can set your intentions in several different aspects of your life as well. It's just, how do you want to show up in your life? How do you want to live? And once you kind of become clear about what your intentions are, you can set your goals. Now, goal setting it's different from intention setting, because it's setting a goal tends to be more concrete. Like, nobody can tell you whether you accomplished being happy or not. But let's say you want to write a book or get in shape or start a business. This is more measurable because you can see palpably whether this happened or not, and you can show it. It's manifested into physical reality. I like to set goals for large areas of my life: health and well-being, finance and career, love and relationships, personal and spiritual growth, happiness and joy, which might just include things you like to do for fun and you want to do for fun, home and environment, and maybe something such as like contribution and being of service or giving back. To set a goal, what we do is we identify specific things that we want to achieve. And then we create like a working plan to get there. And it's working because The plan could change with time, with experience, with new information. So as I was saying, goals should be concrete. They should be measurable. So if you wanted to get in the best shape of your life, you would set a specific time-bound goal, because get in the best shape and health of my life is a really nice intention. For it to be a goal, there needs to be a specific plan, smaller, actionable steps. You break down your goal into habits, and your habits are broken down into months, into weeks, into days. What does your day look like? What habits do you incorporate into your day in order to accomplish one of these goals? So let's take the goal of wanting to be in the best shape and health of your life. Well, first of all, what does that look like to you on a measurable and concrete scale? Secondly, how do you get there? Do you get a personal trainer or a nutritionist? Or do you buy a book on one of these things or start watching videos? Do you start going to classes? Do you take a class in your local community center? What does it look like? And break that down, and these things will become habits. So let's say you do decide to take a class, a community class on nutrition and health. So every Wednesday you have to go to this class. So this becomes a habit or a routine. And that habit or routine over time is going to help you accomplish your goal. So really, when you're setting these goals, the most important part is to break them down into smaller, actionable steps, which become habits and which become a part of your routine. There's something really important about taking on habits. For me, is that sometimes I'll get like paralysis around the idea of adding something new into my routine or returning to something. Like, I hadn't exercised in a very long time because of health complications that I was dealing with in the past year. And so I was terrified of getting back into working out. In order to accomplish my goal of getting back into good health, I had to create new habits. And these habits included returning to certain workout classes. And so I took on the belief that it is easy and achievable to do these habits. Instead of allowing my fear to dictate how these things will go, I decided my belief system is actually that it's easy. It's easy to become a person that works out again. It's easy to become a person that cooks healthy and eats well. It's easy. It's so easy to do these habits. And so I want to pass that on to you. You can take it. Just decide that these things are easy and achievable and accomplishable, and you can do them, and you will. Really quick, speaking of goals, if you have personal development and spirituality goals for the new year, I do have some tools that may help you. Every year on my birthday, which is coming up in a few days, I create this crazy bundle of my best-selling courses, which are Breathe, Lightwork, and the Love Mastery program. This bundle, which I call the Life Mastery Bundle, it has hours of personal development and spiritual content to help you to align with your greatest version. There are hours of videos, there's workbooks, affirmations, MP3s, hypnotherapy sessions, subliminals, rituals, breathwork, communities you can join, resources, and literally hours of bonuses, workshops. People love this bundle. People love these courses, and all these courses are set up to work together to reprogram your mind and your entire outlook on your life to be happier and healthier. And they're self-paced, so you can go along with them, do them in 2030 if you want. You have lifetime access to them, and you can use them whenever you want. So for the first 100 people who take advantage of this bundle, you're gonna get it for 60% off, which is freaking crazy. You get lifetime access, and if you don't like it, just send me an email within 28 days and you get your money back, no questions asked, guaranteed. I've received emails and messages over the years that this bundle has shifted the course of people's lives, and so I know it's something that you're going to benefit from, and I want you to be happy. And if you're not, you get your money back. It's no issue for me at all. I want to be happy also, and if we're all a little bit happier, then the world is a little bit happier. Thanks for letting me sponsor my own videos. The link will be down below if you want to learn more. Now let's continue to design our 2024. The next thing that I like to do after I reflect and project and kind of set my intentions and my goals is I like to create my vision board for the year. So for everyone, but especially for people who might not consider themselves to be so visual, creating a vision board can be really helpful and can really set your sails again in the right direction. So what I like to do is this method that I've been doing since 2017. I basically make a playlist of songs that make me feel really happy. And then I get on Pinterest and I create a new board for the year. And you can do this, of course, with pen and with paper and scissors and magazines and everything. I like to do it on Pinterest because I like to add to it almost every morning. I create a new board every year, whether everything on the last one has been experienced or accomplished or not. And if I want to add old things to my new list, I do so with absolutely zero guilt because it's a journey, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. I have nothing to prove to anybody. I just have to be better than I was yesterday, and I'm happy with that. This vision board really allows me to see like, well, what makes me feel like I'm being better? And it gets my mind on the things I want to see in my life. That's what's so powerful about a vision board. So you just make a free account on Pinterest, you create a new board. I like to name it, 2023 vision board. That's what it was last year. So this year will be 2024. And then start searching for things that you want to experience. I've learned over time that using the word aesthetic in my search always finds really great photos. So for example, if you want to be a world traveler, searching something like traveling aesthetic or camping aesthetic might yield some great results for you. So let me know what words you use for your Pinterest vision board, like your keywords, because everyone makes them slightly differently, and I find it really interesting, and it kind of giving each other our secrets makes it a more powerful manifesting technique. We often do it together in our workshops, which I've been really missing our workshops, so let me know if you'd like to join one for the new year. In the beginning of January, I'm thinking of maybe doing vision boarding and kind of answering these questions that we went over today in those. And then you review and add to your vision board often over the year. You get extra points for making it really fun, drinking your morning tea or coffee, listening to your favorite music to raise your frequency for the day. And so you want to be creating systems for yourself, like choosing habits that will bring you closer to your goals and your intentions, and then finding ways to fit these systems into your day-to-day life. Some systems might be weekly while others are used monthly or quarterly, and we just have to find places to fit them in. So for example, I want to fit in studying into my life plan, okay? I have all these things, Sagittarius, researcher, lifelong student. I love to learn. I love to study. I love to explore. I'm studying all the time. I study dreams, astrology, different cultures, history. I'm always studying. I'm always reading. But I want a few hours of dedicated study time every week. So I have to create a system, which means creating that time like a weekly basis for studying and maybe using a study system such as the Pomodoro method. Other systems that we can implement are things like morning and evening routines. Something I learned recently, which has been incredible for my journey. I've always, my entire life, I've kind of been a morning person. Maybe not when I was a teenager, but definitely throughout my 20s, it was so easy for me to wake up. And then in the last year or so, getting up at 5 a.m. has been just almost impossible and just miserable. So I learned, instead of, I don't even remember where, I think I read this somewhere. I'm gonna find out where I learned this and I'm gonna link it below for you. Or if anybody remembers and has seen the same thing, leave it in the comments, please. Instead of setting an alarm to wake up, you set a bedtime, so a time to go to sleep. So if you set a time to go to sleep and it's early enough for you to get a full night's rest, you will easily wake up the next morning. I've been doing this and it's made waking up earlier so much more simple. I wake up before my alarm. And anyways, our morning routine really starts the night before. So you want an evening routine that sets you up for the next day. So you want an evening that, is really soothing and relaxing and allows you to wake up feeling inspired and well rested the next day. Your morning routine, I like to follow the miracle morning. You want to curate a morning routine that is unique and individual to your needs into what raises your frequency for the rest of the day. The next thing that you can do after making your systems, deciding on your evening and morning routine, is something that I've learned. I've been doing a version of this for years, but once I saw it in Lavender's or Eileen's Artist of Life yearly planner, I wanted to make it a tradition. So in the beginning of each year, what we do is we make a bucket list. These are not necessarily goals or accomplishments. They can be, but really it's things that you'd like to do and to try for the first time or for the year, no matter how irrelevant they may be to what you want to accomplish in the year. So maybe this is the year you learned how to sew, or to take up a new language, or camp for the first time. And nothing will happen in reality if you don't do this. This is just for fun, just to get the mind and the spirit ready to take on new adventures in the new year. Lastly, something really empowering that kind of just sets the tone for the entire year is at the beginning of this year, I want you to ask yourself, what is something amazing that could happen this year? So you'll write an entry in your journal, writing about the most amazing thing that could possibly happen this year as if it already happened. So you want to be descriptive. You want to talk about the emotions you felt, perhaps even the emotions that other people felt, how other people experienced this thing happening. and let those emotions rise up in your chest as you do this work. Enjoy this process. And that is how I design my year, and I always return to it midway through the year, and you can do it really every month just to keep yourself on track and keep yourself checking in with your intentions and your goals and how you want your life to look. That's it for me today. I truly hope this video was helpful. I also hope that you take advantage of the crazy bundle I put together for you and continue your self-discovery by investing in yourself. Grab the Life Mastery bundle in the description below. If you enjoyed this video and want more videos like it, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, because that helps the channel so much, and I am endlessly grateful for your support. I love you, and as always, until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye!